Happy Sunday. Y'all know who it is. I'm not going to introduce myself. I go by a lot of names. It goes along with my many personalities, I'm assuming. I had a very interesting week. I was going to do a video a couple days earlier, but I was like, let's see how the rest of the week pans out. I might have more to talk about. Which, yeah, I do, in a sense. So, I kind of bent my boundaries Wednesday. I went to a Cypress Hill concert and brought my ex-wife. It was, her daughter bought her a ticket, and I was going to pick her up, and then her daughter was going to take her back after the show. And of course, I knew what I was in for because this person has been heavily into meth for the last few years, and I knew what I was walking into, kind of. But again, just like when I first met this person, what I wanted to do was help her reunite with her kids. That had been like the biggest goal of mine. But once again, you can't force anybody to do anything, no matter how much influence you might have or think you have on a person. So anyways, I got there to pick her up, and it was a 2-hour wait. She was trying to get dressed and clean her room at the same time. It was a whole deal she was going through, but I sat there patiently. We missed we came in at the third act, and there's 4 acts at the show. But we made it, and I felt like, yeah, touchdown, score, now the night will be cool, and frustrations. And first thing she did when we got to the concert was, of course, go to the bathroom and get high, and came back just, you could tell she was out there, which is fine. That's a place. The surrounding and place was kind of like that, but then afterward, and through the concert, she was trying to grind up on me because, it's a rap show, so everybody's dancing, it's cool. But kind of grinding up on me, and I could feel her trying to make eye contact with me a lot, and I was just kind of there enjoying the show because Cypress Hill, they had acoustic drum kits and different drums and really great performance. I was blown away. And so, the night wasn't fully like a downer because we did get to the show. We did get to see some amazing musicians, and I was hoping that the night wouldn't turn sour or whatever, but it kind of did. Once she realized her daughter was taking her back to her place instead of me, because I think there was like some hidden innuendos going on, and I had my blocks up because, it was a boundary bender enough for me to go and put myself in that situation with the type of person or the type of drugs she's using, even though it's not like a craving thing. It's just, I don't resonate, so what's the purpose of me being here type deal, But I did have a goal set in mind. So she got awfully mad at the both of us and told us how she never wanted to hang out with us again or see us again, me or her daughter. And then she accused us two of sleeping together, which was super crazy. Just, that's something I'm not about all that. I've been, it's not where it's at for me. I don't really resonate in sexual encounters unless I'm really connected with the person, and I haven't really put myself out there or tried to make huge connections with people. I do talk to people and hit them up and see if they want to hang out, get stoned or something like that, but that's about the gist of it with me. So it was a big whoop-de-doo. Her daughter had to deal with it all, though. That's the sad part of it, because she was her ride, and throughout the ride, it was calling her this, calling her that, then jumping out of the car at a stop sign, and then I get a call from her like 3 in the morning the next day, and she's sitting there telling me what a sick pig I am because I slept with their daughter and it didn't even happen. So it was more like I think it was more like she's in some type of drug psychosis, you know. It's really easy to do that, especially dealing with meth. So, and whatever other drugs might be going on. But the show was still good. The work week was harsh. We're going through so much at work. Transitioning, trying to get a better flow of stuff. And, but, you know, so midweek was great. Getting down towards the weekend, Friday, I got to jam with Creative Chaos, which is me and Louisa. And I think we got at least 2 rough draft songs that we want to do that I think we'll be able to stick to and form more material to it and put it out there to see if we can find, because I seriously want to find a cello player, and I also want to find a bass player along with that. So that's all in the making. If all goes well, tomorrow we'll be rehearsing again. Maybe we can add to it. Maybe we can start a 3rd song, depending on how well where we see ourselves with these 2 new songs. Or they're not even songs, they're riffs, you know, they're just rhythms put together and pretty simple stuff. It's metal, of course. I'm really digging it and liking it. I feel like it's a style of music that was meant for me to play, so I'm really enjoying it. Let's see. Last night, attended a friend's birthday party at a bar named Sue. Was a pretty good time. Stayed there a couple hours, but you know, I don't really drink, and I bought a Red Bull while I was there, and it was like $4, and I was like, yeesh. And that and water, you know. I did drink a Coke. A friend of mine bought me a Coke. She offered me a beer, then realized I don't drink. I love when that happens. People are like, what the fuck? You don't drink? You look like somebody who drinks. Well, I was at one point, but, you know, I've kind of been forced to stop, and I'm kind of liking it, really. Because I kind of got an addictive personality to where, I know before I got on paper, I was drinking a little bit, and I was in the habit of just buying like a tall boy after work, and sometimes I wouldn't even drink it, or I'd open it and take maybe 5 sips and let it sit overnight, end up going to sleep, and then, you know, you got a flat beer, so it's garbage. So I was doing a lot of that right before I got put on paper, and so it really wasn't like I was an everyday drinker, but I was an everyday drinker. I just drink barely any, because I don't know, it just doesn't resonate with me like it used to, I guess. Doesn't make me feel like it used to. Drinking was more like a social thing for me regardless. So when I am at bars doing a social thing, you know, it kind of a little bit, but it's not like a huge deal. It's mainly I want something to drink, and I want something besides water. I only like one type of water, and if you don't have it, then I'm not really fond of drinking water. But yeah, I got to stayed out because I was having light issues with my car, and I didn't want to drive at night and risk getting pulled over and having to deal with all that. So I ended up just staying the night where I practiced up at my buddy Adrian's house, and that was cool because I got a bed to sleep in, and I actually slept really well and woke up really good and felt like I was ready for work yesterday. But I went into work, and it was just roadside service. We had tires across the nation just blowing on these trucks, and they were needing to be helped out on the side of the road or at different truck stops, you know. So, and those are pretty time consuming, and you have to talk to a few different people to get the ball rolling sometimes for those roadsides, depending on what it is. So I had like 6 of them, I think, and that's a lot for 4 days working for somebody who doesn't really do the roadsides that often. Have to have a lot of patience. Our guy who does it full time, I really don't dig his job. Just saying. But you got to do it, what you got to do. And I was in overtime. I think I got 6 hours of overtime this week, which will be really good come Thursday to continue to pay on my last fine and my other bills I got, and maybe think about getting a room pretty soon up at the Alaskan Inn. I kind of like that little retreat. It's been a couple months since I've done that, and it was really enjoyable. It was a little sad because I'm not used to going up there by myself, but I kind of had to embrace that solitude, and embrace the loneliness and turn it into like a solitude period in my head. This is what I had to look at it as. So yeah, I went out and for my friend's party, and didn't really talk to my friend that much because we're not really that close. He's the bass player for Wicked Temple, and we're close as far as like inviting each other to stuff, but we really, but everybody that was there, it was a good time. I connected with all my friends out there in Salt Lake in the music scene. I'm recognized, which is, as a zombie, and it's kind of cool. I really like it, actually. It's, because people remember that, Well, some people, not everybody does, but majority of people remember who you are, depending on what kind of energy you bring to a setting, And mine has been pretty high up there, I have to, minimize my distractions in order to seek what I'm going for as far as my spirituality goes and my inner peace goes, Today's kind of usually a kickback day. I enjoy solitude on Sundays. Well, besides doing the video and stuff, I'll go here and there if there's something going on, but typically on Sundays, not a lot's going on with any of my families or friends. I'm just chilling, recouping, getting ready for a week. We have tomorrow off as well, though. So that'll be hopefully either a chill day or a go visit some people day type thing. I got in contact with a friend who I met in a 12-step program years ago, and she done got in some trouble and now is doing drug court, and they put them in this apartment place, all the women, and I was gonna go down and visit her because we've been talking. I was like, well, maybe I'll come up and visit, for a little bit or something. And she was like, well, yeah, this is a good time here to come down before I have to go to my program class or whatever, and I was kind of excited about it. And then I got to thinking, one of our rules being on paper is you can't hang out with each other freely, and so I told her, I said, hey, let's take a rain check until at least I get off paper, because she's in a pretty intense program where I'm about to graduate mine in a month or so and be off paper. I was like, let's wait till then, see where you're at when I'm off paper. She'll still be in the program, I'm sure, but I just don't want to. I want to do things the way they're supposed to be done, because to get caught up and get put on probation even longer or not make the review over association issues that, they make up the rules about that. But if you break them, they can violate you irregardless. It's no different than, and it's not a second charge though. It's just a violation of, not corresponding with the rules. So I think she understood, and I'm pretty sure she did, understood that I wasn't blowing her off. I just don't want to get us in trouble or go backwards in our programming that we have been choosing to do instead of going to jail, you know. So so yeah, I decided rather than doing all that, because I don't like timely things. I don't like to do, like, got this amount of time to be down here. I don't like being rushed. So I was like, this would be good. I can just go with the flow. Focus on what maybe I need to do, which is I'll probably be digging in my drug and alcohol assignment. Still got a lot to do on the chapter I'm on. It's been really interesting. It's been a really good chapter, and I've been learning a lot and applying what's been taught, what I've read, and seeing how it works and paying attention. But yeah, hung out last night with my friends in Salt Lake, had some pretty good chats about different topics, and yeah, it was a good time. And then I got back at work at 10:30. I was like, 10:30, wow, you know. I fixed the issue with my headlights flickering. I just cleaned the battery terminals, and bada boom, bada bing. Simple stuff, you know, that I sometimes overlook. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow I'll get to rehearse again with Louisa and tighten up what we do have and move forward in that. Get something solid that we can post to look for more players. Yeah, it's gonna be good. I think I'm really liking where that's going. I have about a month and a half of programming still. Wrap that up in November, I do believe. I think November 10th will be my last class. And then my PO said he'll put me in for a review as soon as I'm done with my last class. So we're shooting for, I think, December 29th would be my 1 year review. And I think it's looking good just because everything's been paid for a while and I'm abiding by the laws. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do, you know. I mean, there's some things I kind of look over and do anyways. And it's not in my best interest sometimes what I do as far as like the law goes, but you know, I pick and choose what I'm gonna, you know, when I'm gonna do something I probably shouldn't do. And you know, all the freaking rules is just a rule book of life, and certain things you gotta follow, and certain things, you know, everything's a choice today. What you tend to do, where you tend to put yourself, regardless of what you're on and what you're taking. I mean, all these are choices as well. So it's crazy. I've been liking the choices I make because they seem realistic. I mean, even Friday after rehearsal, I got invited to go to a show, and my lights were acting up, and I didn't want to travel, didn't want to get pulled over, and so I was like, no, as much as I wanted to go, because I love the band, I love the people, I was just like, nah, I can't do it. Plus I had work in the morning, so I was trying to be responsible. I kind of stayed responsible. Oh, and also that night when I was at Adrian's, I got to play with those glow balls that you spin around. They do all kind of, it looks all crazy and shit. I was doing really well till the end, and I wish I would have got it on video. At the end, I came around and I was slowing down the ball fling, whatever they call it, and it came around and fucking hit me right in the nuts. Oh boy, it hurt too. Hurt for a good 10 minutes. And there was like, I think 5 of us, and yeah, they all saw it, heard it, and was like, oh. So that was the end of my Friday night, I guess, because I went to bed right after that. Got hit in the balls with a glow ball. Who would have known? But yeah, a lot of interesting things this week. I mean, not super interesting, but there's been a lot of realizations dealing with when you deal with a lot of different people on a daily basis, like I deal with truck drivers, 5 days a week, and 45 days an hour, or 45 hours a week basically, and it's a trip. You have to kind of be on your game, be on your toes, to make sure you act and treat each driver, in my mind, how they would prefer to be treated and talked to. And sometimes that may vary. But when I'm able to do that, I'm able to communicate with them the importance of why we do what we do today, and where we're at in our work life and everything. And because people forget what they sign up for when they take on positions, and when they, not only in the work or 3D world, I'm talking about even in the spiritual world, when you're making karmic contracts with things and people, and if you're not knowing of it, what that can entail, and what results can come out of don't doing things, that you choose to commit to, I guess you can say. A lot of us don't realize when we are signing ourselves up on a karmic level of situations, and what there is we need to do and pay attention to. And it was very clear to me Wednesday night, putting myself in that situation and being around those types of people that I don't really resonate with, and have to drop my frequency way low, which is not a fun time for anybody. I think that's why people get uncomfortable in confrontations, because your energy drops way low when you're dealing with confrontations and you're dealing with anxiety and stress. It takes you down a few notches, I do believe, from my experience. That is, nobody likes doing that, but I'm gonna say everything's a choice, because it really is. Even though we have disorders, it's our responsibility, and I think it's also family's responsibility. If you're too far gone that you don't know that you need help, even though you can't force a person to do anything, at least be there in support and hold space for people that are dealing with their disorders, whatever it may be. Drug addiction included, because it's all a disorder, disorder of the brain. So, and I try to keep that in mind, but there's only so much I can do and so much energy I can give to people in that mindset. Because I need energy for me to feel my soul purpose here, and that's to stay on a high frequency. I'd be an example of what high frequency looks like, and what it can bring you, and what it can help you get through being on a high frequency. And I try to teach, that's kind of like my goal. I try to teach people that, but I do it mainly through example, and sometimes if I feel the need to address somebody's disorder, I will, if I feel like it's gonna help, but I've been very choosy on who I do that with. I think remaining shielded has helped me decipher whose energy I want to take on, and how much of it I want to take on, and through experience, most definitely. So my experiences have been great. They are putting me on a path of higher knowledge, I think, and higher frequency, and I love that. It makes it so I don't have to use my medication as much when I'm in that realm. I don't have to be high, or it's a high in itself, because when you're living your true purpose, that's what our main goal is. So you really can't get much higher than that in my mind without going psycho, so just being aware and making those better choices, has been, and it's fairly simple. It's not really all that easy sometimes, depending on where your mind is, but it's very simple once you make the choice to do something, I feel. I mean, through, you know. So, it's Super Sunday. About to smoke this because I really enjoy it. I splurged a little bit and got more expensive this week, and it was way worth it. I wasn't the only one who enjoyed it either. Everybody at the parties I've been to have been like, wow. So yeah, just gonna do me like I have been for the last few months, and understanding that by doing that, my energy and frequency and my choices are becoming better because I'm not distracted by the humanality of this 3D life that can lead you in a different direction than what you planned on going. And so I'm guarding myself and making like the opposite decisions I was making a year ago. Picking and choosing where I'm gonna go, who I'm gonna hang out with, and if I'm gonna be around people in low vibe, shield the hell out of myself to not be attached to their vibe. And it's been working out pretty well. I'm glad that I am able to do that. I am grateful for the powers that be that make me who I am today, and the experiences that make me who I am today. It's been humbling and blessing, and it's been a relief in general, because I just don't have unnecessary worries in my life, you know. And the things that I do have to do aren't challenges, they're blessings to me. They're time and space where I can step my game up on this 3D world and watch my 5D life elevate really high. So it's good. It's definitely good. Learning curves are a bitch, but they'll definitely help you see where you want to be. So namaste to all of you, because the weirdness in me uplifts and cherishes the weirdness in you. Have a great Sunday, y'all.